All right, welcome everyone to another video. Today, I'm going to briefly discuss something that's a huge problem that's unaddressed and most people don't talk about it, therefore they just suffer in silence, which is being able to tell the difference between friends and the people who are just there. Now, you're probably not confused about the first part, which is friends, because most of us have somewhat of an idea about what a friend is supposed to be. So I'm going to start off by explaining the latter, which is people who are just there. Okay, so who are these people? Well, when you look at different aspects of your life, you'll always see that there's a lot of people that you might interact with every single day. To break this down for you and to give a few simple examples, you might be involved in some sort of physical activity, such as going to the gym and having a gym bro, Pilates, or a team sport, where you see the same set of people again and again and again. We can do this with our work lives as well. Whether you're working a part-time temporary job just to save up some money or working full-time, you're expected to interact with your coworkers every single shift. Another case is obviously if you go to school or college and you're expected to sit next to each other, your classmates, aka, and your peers, to collaborate and discuss every class/lecture. And a final example would be you're religious and you meet your mass at church every Sunday, for example. And you can do this whether you're Muslim, Jewish, whatever, right? So all these types of folks are people that you see every day. And this is what I define as people who are just there. These folks are individuals that you pretty much have to deal with, whether you like it or not, for a certain period of time, depending on your circumstances. Now, why is this so important? Well, because the relationship you have with these people are not that of a real friend, which I'll talk about in a minute, but let's just stay on this, right? The relation that you have with these people is very likely temporary, meaning one day when you do decide to move gyms, quit your job, transfer to another college, or to another connection, is more likely going to end and your access to these people will be cut off. Now, it's really important to keep this in mind because it will help you avoid any sort of confusion as to what your agenda is with these specific people and why you're together in the first place. What do I mean by this? Well, let's just go through the common scenarios, right? Number one, you have working part-time or full-time and you have a set of coworkers that you interact with every single day. If that's the case, then your agenda is to build, obviously, good rapport with these people eventually through the days, slowly. Remember that. Remember that your relation with these people is professional, not personal, which is something that many tend to forget, and that can sabotage your relations if you forget that. But guys, always remember in this scenario, people that are just there, in this case, your coworkers, are nothing more and nothing less. Which means building good rapport shouldn't have any extreme or unnecessary measures like going to the bar and having drinks every night, going to the casino or club, or inviting them to your house for dinner every single night. And you shouldn't have to feel the pressure to do any of these things regularly, if not at all, especially if you don't know them very well. And here's the truth that some of you guys don't want to hear. In the work world, the people who you work with are your direct competitors. I'm sorry to say that. It means that even if your coworkers might be on the same team as you, at the end of the day, guys, you're fighting for your position, your promotion, praise from your boss, and you're competing for everything, basically. So what happens a lot of times, and I've heard many stories and I've seen many videos, trust me, where coworkers will individually or collectively undermine you and just to receive an advantage, whether they want your position or they're fighting for a promotion or even praise from a boss. This could be in the form of collecting information about you through conversations and reporting you to HR, throwing you under the bus for some project, or even going out, as I said, to a bar, casino, nightclub, where you get drunk together and they report what you say while you're drunk. I've literally seen this so many times happen to other people. So do not ever think that these people will put you above their own needs, like their paycheck, their family, and putting food on the table. Do not make that mistake, guys, because we can just keep going here, right? Another common scenario is that if you're in college/uni or even high school and you're with your classmates, and secretly, I know that most of you guys know this, but you need to be reminded of it, guys, they're secretly competing with you. They're competing with you to get a higher mark, a higher rank, praise from the professor, and especially if you're in college, you're probably seeing it every single semester. I've literally seen it to the point where people become free riders on projects and assignments. They report and they snitch on you to the professor and so on. I can just go on with these examples, but there's no point in going on because we need to talk about where this all leads, right? Well, number one, you can't fall into the trap that most people do, which is get bitter, because this is just the reality. Thinking that people are manipulative and evil is incorrect, because in this case, guys, it's just human nature. This is the natural order. So everyone to a certain extent is going to behave like this. And this is for the very reason you can't get mad. Because imagine this, guys. Imagine you sign up for a fight, right? And you enter the boxing ring and the guy punches you in the face. Are you going to complain? No, obviously not. Why not? Because that's just the game. That's the rules of the game, and that's how it works naturally. And that's because they're doing what they're supposed to do, which is compete with you. Now, we need to relay this to friends, right? And we need to see examples of a few characteristics of what a friend is actually is in a person and how they manifest into a friend. And here's number one. At the basic level, a friend is someone who shares common values with you. What do I mean? You guys could both be religious or the same religion. You guys could have the same worldview on politics, sports. You guys both value trust, kindness, etc. Common values. And remember this, because the second characteristic is having common interests. Whether it's fishing, sports, business, politics, you could have anything, right? Or any other activities that you guys get along with in a relaxing way. Not just, business and careers, just like I talked about with the people that are just there. The third is mutual support, meaning you help them and they help you. Your win is their win and vice versa. They celebrate with you and they mourn with you, not against you. Remember that. Guys, mutual support is what literally distinguishes between a friend and a parasite, and that goes both ways. Fourth is loyalty. You can expect them to show up when you need them. You hope that they can keep confidentiality, especially when you're telling them a secret or something is happening, which is pretty bad. And fifth is having boundaries, which means you know when you need to back off and let them have personal space, and vice versa. Remember, guys, two ways, not one way. Both of you have to respect each other's differences and make sure that you never waste each other's time, because that's what friends do, right? Well, let's move on to the sixth one, which is good communication. They actually listen, not just wait to talk. You feel heard and understood. Both of you guys help each other, not just one way, which I've stressed many times. And the last one I would say is positive peer pressure, which means they push you to go further because you know you need it. And deep down, even if you're uncomfortable, they're still going to do it. Why? Because they want the best for you, regardless of what you want. Now, notice, guys, how very few of these characteristics are found in the people who are just there in your life. Notice how the relationship between you have a coworker, classmate, teammate is completely different to that of a friend. And I know what some of you guys are thinking, right? You're thinking, bro, what are you talking about? I made friends at school, I made friends at work, and if that's you, great, good on you. But most people are not in that position, and that's what I'm talking about. Because the people that are lucky enough have known their school friends, for example, for 5-10 years, especially for people who went to the same primary, middle, and high school. Maybe they're going to the same college or they're starting on the same company for a job or something. They've had the chance, guys, to vet each other, to process each other. They went through the ups and downs together. But the vast majority of people that aren't in that boat is what this video is for. So how do we wrap up here? Well, remember, the people that are just there in your life are not your friends. And I can assume if you trust them like that, they will use you and they will take advantage of that fact, and you'll end up in a really bad spot, as many people have in the past. Secondly, never get angry because of this fact and the fact that it's human nature for people to put themselves above you. Because at the end of the day, it's not good or bad. It's just reality. And finally, make sure you can tell the difference between someone who is just there and your friend. Think about all the things that we just talked about, all the characteristics of a friend, all the characteristics of people who are just there in your life. But honestly, that's it. And anyways, I hope you guys see this video, and whatever spot you're in, whatever phase you're in your life, I hope it saves you a lot of future trouble and pain, because it certainly did for me. And I also hope you got something out of this video. And if you did, please make sure to give it a like and share it to whoever you know needs to hear this message, but deep down knows that they need to push hard in this specific scenario. And subscribe for more, guys, if you want to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next one.